Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and welcome to January's Bujo Briefing. We are going to try to get back into the normal Bujo Briefing where I update my journals with you to show you how I look at my journals on the daily. So we are going to first look at my everyday journal. The other square journal is my reading journal, if you aren't familiar with that. So I use this A5 Scribbles That Matter dotted notebook, and I'm gonna just jump ahead to, where are we, 2026. I don't know if I showed you the setup in this journal, but it's not much different than what I've done in the past. I didn't start a brand new journal for 2026. I just continued on with what I was working with, and I just kind of had a starter page for 2026. I do have a year in pixels going, and I believe I looked at my journals yesterday. So what day is today? Of course my watch is dead, so I can't even look. It's the 18th, so I guess I haven't looked at least at the year in pixels in a while. So I just put my mood, my general mood for the day. The 15th was Thursday, I think. And I've just had a rough couple of days recently. So you're gonna see a lot of blue as I fill in, and that's okay. Thursday was actually, it was fine. I'm gonna do a blue dot. Sorry if you can hear kids. It's a Sunday, everybody's home, and I'm needing to bulk film because that's one of my goals for 2026. The 16th was Friday, also kind of just not a great day. Didn't want to do much. We did have a play date, and that was really fun. So I guess we'll put happy. I was okay. Saturday, yesterday, didn't do much. Kind of in a funk, and I can already tell you today is probably going to be a blue dot too because I'm in a funk. I'm filming on the 18th of January, if you did not realize with how I filled that in. I don't think there's anything to fill in with my goals because I did look at my journals yesterday, so I don't know why I didn't fill in my year in pixels. Okay, so on to January. I did kind of a fireworks theme for the new year. I am memory keeping here, so I will just quickly put Saturday, didn't do much, tidied, and made chili. That's all that's gonna be. I did get my series audit. This is my Becca Books and Bujo to-do list over here. Basically a list of all the videos that I need to film, edit, and upload on my channel. So right now I'm working on my Bujo briefing. The mini deck of TBR-thon needs to be filmed today too. That will come out before this video, so it's fine that I'm talking about it. This is just like general to-dos for the entire month. And then here are some things I could work on to achieve my goals for 2026. And I've kind of just like given myself bite-sized goals for the month in order to work toward my yearly goals. But I've done a lot of them. I already read 10 books. I read one nonfiction, I read one Kindle book, and I reread one of my favorite books. Bulk filming on weekends hasn't been going so well, but this is my first weekend that I'm doing it, so proud of myself for still trying to accomplish. I have some savings goals, need to plan the book club retreat that I'm taking. I called for doctor's appointments. I got Theo riding the bus. I scheduled a blood donation appointment, and I started my 75 soft. I think I'm 14 days into that, so 14 out of 75 ain't bad. Here are my reading pages. I had to add a tip in the middle here because I filled this up already on the 12th of the month. So we do need to do some updates here because in this moment, this is by Gabrielle Meyer. It's my current ebook read. I got to 75% through this book yesterday. So this is just a progress bar, and I do this for fun to see how long it takes me to read a book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each dot is 5%. So I went back 25% so I don't have to count all the way to 75. And I just fill in that I read that much on the 17th. So I just write a small little 17. And then I read until 24% in The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. This is my audiobook, and it is also a reread for me. I'm not going to count this toward my reread goal because I wouldn't say it's a favorite, but I wanted to reread it so that I could be ready to discuss with my local book club. So 17. I also need to start a physical read today, but I'm going to keep that one a secret because it is for my Spin a Series video that will come out at the end of January. But I will just draw a little bar so that I'm ready to start filling in the progress for that one. All right, flipping over to my routines and my health trackers. Let's just see how we did yesterday. I did read this, so all these icons stand for something. I guess let me just show you what they are really quick, shall we? This is waking up before my kids, usually. This S with a heart is how many hours of sleep Sylvia got in a night. I like to torture myself and figure out how many hours she got, or like her longest stretch of sleep. So that's what that's for. This is for updating my bullet journal every day. This is for reading my Les Mis pages. This is for reading 100 pages or more. This one is checking in with my budget. This P is for my Patreon if I updated them that day. This is for cross stitching. This S is for my Skylight calendar. Did I do the tasks that my Skylight told me to do? This K is for my Kindle. The 75 in the circle is my 75 soft. We've got screen time, that little phone, and then the moon is for if I was in bed by, I think I'm saying 10:30. It should be 10 because of how early I'm wanting to wake up. But let's just quickly fill this in for yesterday. I did look at our budget yesterday. I didn't do anything for my patrons, but I did cross stitch. I started a new project on Thursday of last week. It's just a bookmark, so I'm kind of slowly getting back into cross stitching, and this bookmark will get done really, really quickly, but then I'm hoping that jumpstarts me into a bigger project. Did not do anything for my Skylight. I did read my Kindle. This Kindle goal is to read my Kindle while I nurse my 9-month-old daughter. I did do everything for the 75 soft yesterday. I did do screen time. This, I set a downtime feature on my phone to not be looking at my phone during like my primary time with my kids. So I am mostly with them, especially during the school day from like 2 to 8. So I have set my downtime, and if I pick up my phone, it tells me don't look at your phone, and I say, hey, you're right, I shouldn't. So I just try not to look at my phone from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. every single day. Was I in bed by 10 p.m. last night? No, because Mabel has been having some weird issues. I want to say it's restless legs or a growth spurt is happening. So if I don't complete a task, I'm putting a little black dot here. For this morning, I did not wake up early before the kids, and Sylvia's longest stretch of sleep was probably, that was a very creepy laugh. Sorry, you all had to experience that. I'm going to say it was 3 hours. Yep, she had a bad night too. And both girls not sleeping means that I'm tired and exhausted, but whatever. Also, we can mark that I'm checking in with my reading journal today, or my bullet journal. I am going to do my reading journal too. And then I already did my Les Mis pages too. Anything else we can mark off? Not yet. I still need to do my exercise for today. We'll see if that actually happens. Yesterday I forgot to color these in. So these health goals over here are how much sleep I got, and I color in the box if I got more than 6.5 hours. How many exercise minutes I got. Again, I fill it in if I got more than 26. How many steps. I am working towards 7,000 a day, and is my screen time less than 4 hours, which I'm amazed at how well I've done with my screen time goal of just not looking at my phone as much. And I think what really helps is reading my Kindle while I nurse Sylvia, because I'm not scrolling on my phone or watching YouTube videos. So let's just fill in these numbers quick for yesterday. of course, I'm in my downtime on my phone, so I have to say or I have to override it. What are my words? I don't know. Okay, so yesterday I got 48 minutes of exercise and 8,113 steps. My screen time was, close, 3 hours and 52 minutes. But for a weekend, I feel like that's still pretty good. And my sleep hours was 6 hours and 32 minutes. So I did reach my sleep, but that was mostly because we decided to just bring Mabel into our bed and let her sleep with us, which we don't love doing, but last night she was just having a time. And for all of us to get the sleep that we needed, we had to do that. So 6.5 hours is still really not enough for me to function super great, but that's okay. It's Sunday, maybe I can get a nap in, or at least just be a little bit more restful today. I will come back and fill these in probably tomorrow when I update my journal, because I don't like when the pen bleeds. So then, yesterday I had a to-do list of editing my series audit. Oh, I didn't check off anything from Friday. I did do that, and I didn't film, so those will be moved to my Sunday list, and we can go ahead and make that Sunday list right now. It is the 18th. And today I would like to do a little family meeting with Willie, which is kind of just going through our budget, going through the schedule for the upcoming week, and then figuring out what meals we're gonna make. So, family meeting. I need to film, which I'm doing right now, but I love to write things on my to-do list and then immediately be able to check them off. And you know what? Why not check off more things? I'm gonna film my announcement. That's for mini deck of TBR-thon and this BUJO briefing. Is there anything else we need to do today? We already went to church. We're trying to catch up on some laundry. I guess I could put that in here. Oh, something we did today that I wasn't really expecting, but it's fun to make note of that we did it and check it off, is we organized our piano music. Willie was wanting to play duets, so we did, but then he was trying to find all of our duets, and so we just went through basically all of our music and organized. I even put little labels on the bookshelf that the piano music is on, so we'll be able to check all those things off, hopefully, today. All right, so that is the everyday journal. That's what I do every single morning when I look at my journal, and I have done really well at checking in with this journal every day. So then, now we'll go to my reading journal, because we do have an update there. We get to fill in that I've finished a book. So this is my new Archer and Olive 8x8 or square notebook, they call it. And if you want to see how this is all set up, I do have a walkthrough video of how I set it up. I didn't actually set it up on camera this time around because of how life allowed me to set this up. But let's see, does this fit on the screen? Sure does. So when I update my reading journal, I open up and I immediately, when I finished a book, put the new book on here. So we are going to put that I finished The Case for Grace, which is a nonfiction that I read. And it's by Lee Strobel. And I think that this was the 14th book I read in January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yes. And I haven't created a tip-in like I did in my previous journal of what these colors represent, but it's just in my head. So dark blue is 5 stars, the light blue is 4 stars, the gray is 3 stars. And I haven't gotten anything less than a 3, so I haven't even decided. I think it's probably going to be the darker gray that I used for the setup. Ooh, here it is. I'm throwing markers around. So the Case for Grace, I gave 3.5 stars. It was fine, and I enjoyed hearing about the different stories of grace that Lee Strobel shared with us, but it's not going to stick with me, unfortunately. I feel bad, like, rating people's experience with God's grace, but that's not really what I was writing it for. I was writing it as enjoyment and how it'll stick with me, and it won't, really. Ooh, that sounds harsh. Okay, moving on to the reading and review. This is like a stats page. I put a little tick mark for every thing that book fits into for each of these categories. So I read this one physically. Crazily enough, that is my first physical book of the year. The author was male. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I really don't think there was any LGBTQ plus representation. I feel like Lee Strobel tends toward the conservative Christian, so I don't think he would maybe include any of that. We have to add nonfiction to my list of genres. It's definitely an adult book, and it came out way before 2025. I have changed my years published. Instead of listing every single year under the sun, I have done 2026 for this year, 2025 for last year, and then anything before. I'm just wanting to pay attention to how many new releases I'm reading versus last year versus backlist. Okay, nothing to fill in here. Nothing to put on my DNF graveyard. Nothing here yet, but these are my book clubs that I'm a part of. My Patreon book club I run over on my Patreon site. If you're ever interested in joining, that link is always down below in my description box. This is for the local book club I'm in, the RR readers I'm calling it, and my Honeybee book club is the book club I have with my college friends. Series, we have nothing to update here yet, especially with the Case for Grace. That's not really in a series. All right, so if we look down here, nonfiction is this brown color of Zebra Mild Liner. So I will grab that and mark in my 14th book of the month and of the year was a nonfiction. Alrighty. Oops. Again, I am just throwing markers everywhere today. Okie dokie. Nothing to put here. Actually, I don't think I have a cover. I'll take out the Case for Grace. This is where I keep all my printed covers. I need to print out some covers for this because I did read a lesson before dying, and so that will work for the before and after prompt for January. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do for the internal body part for the Buzz cover challenge, but we'll get there when we come to it. I do need to mark that I have read up to the current day in my Les Mis challenge. So there we go. Flipping over to the other challenges, I definitely need to print off some covers here because I read A Lesson Before Dying, which can fill in the A. I read Still Alice, which can fill in the S. And then I'll just make a note for myself that the Case for Grace can fill in the C. So I just have marked this with pencil here over on the side. The Case for Grace. I like to fill up a whole sheet of paper when I'm printing, so I often don't print just like one book cover at a time. Sorry, I had to change my battery and it messed up my setup here, but hopefully it wasn't too drawing for you. Okay, moving on. I did fill in one thing on my series takedown bingo board, the Improbable Meet Cute. I should put just like a little X or something. I guess I didn't think that through quite yet, but I'll do that at a later time. Again, the Case for Grace wasn't included in that. So here we are into January. I did cut out a little piece of paper here because I will need to have a tip in here for this table because I'm already at 14 books and I only have 4 more spots available. I think I will read more than that, but I guess maybe I could hit a huge slump and not. So I just cut this out for my old reading journal and I will tape it in here if and when necessary. So where was I? Looks like I forgot to put the situationship was this book here. And The Case for Grace, I started, when? When did I start and when did I finish that? Great question. I'm probably gonna have to look at, you know what I could look at? A regular journal here. Case for Grace, the 12th through the 16th. So if you're unfamiliar with this, I create a dot for every book that I read, and I put a line through the days that I read it, like so, and I finished it on the 16th, so I put a little bar to end the book. That will be my 14th book, so I'll put a little 14 in the dot. The Case for Grace. These are just some stats that I keep track of in this table. It's by Lee Strobel. It was 174 pages. It took me 5 days to read it, and I gave it a 3.5 star rating. I discovered this from my flute professor, so I'm going to write her name here because she gifted it to me upon my graduation from college, which was very, very sweet of her. I also can mark that The Case for Grace was one of my deck of TBR books. So I did also DNF The Ship of Brides. So I actually should put that in my series my DNF graveyard. I have the cover right here. I'm trying to decide though if my DNF graveyard is going to keep this size of books, because what I did is I used to have 1 inch across book covers for my reviews, but I didn't like how small they were, so I made them 1.5 inches and kind of made my book reviews take up exactly 1/3 of the page. Something I'm trying, and I'm enjoying it so far. However, that means that if I don't finish the book and I have the printed book, that means that I would either need to use this in the DNF graveyard up here, which is right here, but I'm nervous that I'll have too many DNFs and then the size won't fit, or, you know, all of these won't fit if I have that many DNFs. It really depends, you know? So we're not gonna deal with that right now. We're just gonna leave that for future Becca. Sorry, me. I should also have a little dot that represents the Ship of Brides, and then if I DNF a book, I put an X at the end of that line, but I think I only read it for like a day, so we're not even gonna bother. Maybe, again, future me will do that. So, moving on, I will also need to print a little book cover for The Case for Grace because I can fill it in with the Short Stack Readathon. I'm gonna put it in one of these essay or nonfiction boxes in the bingo board and hope that I can fill in a little bit more. Oh, I do need Still Alice to fit in this short novel one too. So there are just some things I need to print off. And again, future Becca will have to deal with that because I don't want to do it right now. For some reason, printing is just such a huge feat, and I want to fill up a whole page of paper. Okay, so now I go to the review pages and I cut this white extra stuff off, and I've kind of been keeping with this 1/3 of the page for a review. It's been working so far. I put a swatch of color along the top with the title, the author, and my star rating. And then if I have any quotes, I think I had one quote or a couple quotes here for When the Day Comes and The Worst Wingman Ever, but I would do the quote after the little synopsis and review that I give. Don't read these if you don't want spoilers. I should have said that earlier, but hopefully I didn't spoil you for anything. So I just grabbed my little Scotch permanent dual-sided tape and put some tape on the back of this book cover, and we'll put it across over here. There we go. Put my line of color. Oh, there must have I must have gotten some black or something. Yeah, would you look at that? If you ever need to clean your Tombow, you really can just like draw a bunch of lines and then you see the black has come off of it. So that's unfortunate that the black is there, but we can look past it. I'm gonna speed you up while I write a quick review, and then we will close out the video.
Ruby, she was made for going west, did not protest my wandering way.
And there we have it. That is my update in my reading journal and in my regular everyday journal. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.